Okay, one of the things that I neglected to mention in our last training was that when you decide to register your domain, you have the option, again, you have the option to select what extension you want to use. Most people use the .com or .net or .org. Those are the most popular domains right now. That may change over time, but currently the most popular domain name is .com, and then the others would follow, .net and .org, probably a close second. But you can select this domain name that you have, the domain name we selected. You can have multiple extensions. A lot of times people will make sure that they select the .com, the .net, and the .org domains because, and sometimes .biz, because what they want to do is they kind of want to corner the market on that domain name. If I wanted a domain name Chuck Wood and I wanted to make sure nobody else had the opportunity to use that domain with some of the popular extensions, then I would go ahead and corner the market, if you will, by checking .com, .org, .net, and .biz. That way no one can come in and do a chuckwood.biz or .org or .net, because essentially what has happened is I have registered that domain and I now own that domain. That means no one else can use that domain, and if I want to brand my name or brand my company, then I would go ahead and probably select mainly these three, .com, .net, and .org. Okay? So I want to make sure I did mention that. I missed that in the last, in our earlier, the earlier recording, so I want to make sure you were aware of that. So we're going to move to the next step. I'm going to take a pause for a moment, and then we're going to move to the next step, which is to register, now to set up your hosting. Okay, to set up your hosting is fairly simple, and there are multiple hosting companies out there too that you can use to set up your hosting. But essentially, just so you know, your hosting, look at it as your house. It's your residence. When we registered your domain, you registered what they call a domain address, because that's really what it is an address. And so once you register that domain address, that means you now own that address. Now you have to have somewhere to send people, and you want to send them to your house, and your house would be your hosting. Okay, so now that we have a domain name and we have what would be considered an address, now we need to have a place to really host our website. So it will be the house for our website, if you will. That's what I'm going to call it for now. Okay. So, and there are multiple hosting companies. I'm just using HostGator in this example. I have used multiple hosting companies. I think all of them do a good job. But you want to be careful too, and try to stay with the ones that have been around for a while and things like that. And go to web hosting. Just click on web hosting. Once you click on web hosting, it gives you some options. You can do the hatchling plan, the baby plan, or the business plan. What I would suggest is that you at least do the baby plan, and the reason why, and I know that's a little bit higher, but the reason why I am suggesting that, because if you look at these options here, with the hatchling plan, you can only have one domain. Okay. With the baby plan, you can have unlimited domains. So what that means is that you can have multiple domains that you can host at the same hosting company. If you don't do that, what you will have to do is order or purchase multiple hatchling plans for every domain. If you decide that you want to have another domain once you've got this your first website up, and you want to have another website, then you would have to buy another hosting plan. But if you go with at least the baby plan, then you have the option of having multiple domains that you can house or host at that website under that same plan, and the cost won't change. Okay, so let's go ahead and act as if we're going to order this. And again, I probably will not go through the process of purchasing. I'm just going to show you what you can do. But in this case, we've already registered a domain, so we're going to just go ahead and say I've already registered. We don't have to put anything here. You can if you want, but you don't have to. We're going to go with not the baby plan. Well, we're going with the baby plan, right? We're going with the baby plan. And they give you a discount based on how long you are paying for the hosting. In other words, if you're going to do 36 months, which is 3 years, then you get the $636 per month, which is 20% off. Now, if you only want to do it for a year, it's going to cost you $7.96. So that's $1 higher that you'll pay each year. So you just want to be aware of that, and that's kind of the way they get you locked in, because their objective is get you locked into their hosting. And if you're on their hosting, you become comfortable with it and you start using it, then the hope is that you will stay there. Now, the next step, once you selected that, what you want to do is you want to create a username. Now the username will be used later for you to log into what to your HostGator control panel, and we'll look at that in a little bit, to set up WordPress. So you will need this, so it's important that you put in a good username, and once you select the username, you want to select a security pin, which is essentially a password. So again, you definitely want to create a username and create a security pin or a password. Now the next thing is the billing information, and I'm not going to go through all that. That's pretty self-explanatory. You can pay by credit card and by PayPal and things like that. Now the next section, which is the hosting add-ons, you don't have to set these up now. You can set them up later, because once you get set up on or get your hosting set up, you can add these things to your hosting. Okay, so right now we're going to not, I'm just going to uncheck everything for now, because I want you to see what the price is going to be. But if you go down to the next section, they have their what they call their snappy coupon code, and you can go out and search on Google and find even more of a discount for HostGator hosting. So right now, all you would pay to set up your website for 1 year would be $7.96, and you did get a $1.99 discount. Okay, so once you do that, you read the terms and conditions, check there, and hit create account, and then it will go out there and create an account for you. Okay, so that is all there really is to hosting. Now, before I forget, you will also receive an email, and that email will provide you with the link to your hosting, instructions on how to log on, your user ID and password. All that information will be sent to you. Okay, so that should take care of the hosting piece, but I wanted to make sure that you got that information. The next piece that we will move to is setting up WordPress, because now that we've got your house and we've got your address, we'll have to connect the two, and we'll do that when we set up WordPress. But we'll go ahead and set that up and then install WordPress on your website. So I'll see you in the next video.